Hello and welcome to P.S. Such a Connection. I'm P.
And I'm S, and we're here talking about Finding Prince Charming, episode 5. We watched it separately, actually.
Yeah, I was in New York at a comedy show.
And I was at home watching Finding Prince Charming by myself. And my dad walks in, and he sits down on the couch, and Robert makes out with someone. And he goes, I'm leaving.
My dad would love this show.
No, for sure.
So I just wanted to point out that I watched this online the next day, and I saw that episode 3 was named Sensing a Connection, and I was real excited.
Such a connection. We're sensing a connection.
Yes. I almost want to change our name to Sensing a Connection. I don't want to mess up any of our fans, though.
Yeah, that would confuse, like, a lot of people.
So many. Like, at least 2, maybe.
Being the 2 of us.
Yeah,
But anyway.
So the connection count last night was 26.
This number keeps getting higher and higher.
It's amazing. I love it.
It's, like, exponentially rising.
It's incredible. And the connection count for my comedy show was 1.
Ooh.
So I think we know who the winner is.
Obviously.
Finding Prince Charming. They had the masquerade ball.
When I heard they were having a masquerade ball, I knew immediately to be excited.
Masquerade balls are the best thing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the best scene. You pulled the clip of it for a thing. It's the best scene in Phantom of the Opera. It's everything about masquerade balls is the best. My 16th birthday party was a mask. So,
yes.
And I stole that idea from my sister's wedding plans. So you can see how exciting it is.
16-year-old, both of us looked fabulous that night.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to draw attention to the decorating montage, which you noted about. And, like, I'm not sure I was ever happier in my life than
it was
watching
amazing.
And if we could only have been there.
The amount of sparkles that were provided for them, I mean, it was probably more than the gymnastics team is provided with.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
And it's fantastic.
Yes.
So the theme of the mask is that they all have to, within their masks, reveal something about themselves that they've been hiding.
I thought that was super clever.
So Eric goes and knows what he's going to do for his mask, but he doesn't want to tell any of the guys. So he ends up pulling Justin aside, who he's been close with, to tell him, before he tells Robert, that he's HIV positive.
Bombshell.
Yeah. And I knew after the first week that someone on the show was HIV positive.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, there
How'd
was
you know that?
there was like a press release, and like Robert spoke out about it. I think Lance Bass confirmed it and all of this stuff. So we knew that someone on the show was HIV positive. We just didn't know who it was until tonight. I did, at least, and a bunch of people.
Got you. I didn't know, but it was dramatic, and I feel like I felt like, you know, as, you know, horrible as it is, and, you know, Eric is so strong and, like, courageous and, you know, living whatever his day-to-day life, and I thought, because this is something that, you know, I mean, people outside the gay community deal with it, but, like, something that the gay community has, like, almost been, like, targeted as, like, oh, these people deal with this.
They definitely were in the beginning.
And, like, so it's, like, very, it was poignant and, like, a strong.
I liked that they pointed out that it's not a death sentence anymore.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cry. So I wrote down what Justin said in his confessional after this conversation with Eric, which was, when someone confides in you that they're HIV positive, it's a big deal. They're trusting that you can take that information and support them. And I think that I'm
Don't
sorry.
cry. She's
I
so
think that
emotional.
the guys on the show really did that, you know?
They did that so
They
well.
found out, Robert too, you know, when Justin found out, he was immediately supportive of Eric.
Mm-hmm.
And when Robert found out,
Oh my
he
God,
was
stop.
immediately, I'm sorry, he was immediately supportive of Eric. And then, you know, at the end when they all come out for the black tie and they're all wearing the pin, like...
Yeah, that was, oh my God, oh my, I was like, oh my gosh.
Just the support that these guys show each other on the show is
Yeah.
amazing. Like, the friendships that they've made,
Yeah.
it's so strong. Like, I really hope that they are still all friends after this.
I mean, I went into the show really hoping for a lot of, like, petty, like, like, drama, and, like, I'm a little bit sad that it wasn't like that, but it's just, like, amazing. These guys are, like, friends and supportive,
yeah,
and, like...
I think it's even better than if they were, like, trying to hook up with each other in the house, because...
Yeah.
Like, that's lust, and, like, it's fun to, like, laugh at and watch,
Yeah.
but, like, these real relationships between people
Yeah.
are, I mean, I'm crying.
She's
so, like,
crying.
They're just amazing to watch.
Yeah.
So,
if you didn't believe we were emotionally invested in this show before, now you know.
I'm so emotional, and I'm really sorry. I really am.
We care about you. Finding Prince Charming contestants.
Yeah. I wanted to point out that Justin and Dylan have amazing shoes at this mask.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get to see any of the other guys' shoes, so maybe their shoes were amazing too,
Maybe.
but they only showed Justin and Dylan's. And then at the mask, everyone was, like, you know, partying. They showed Robert all of their decorating.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then Robert pulls Eric aside because he feels like Eric's being kind of evasive.
Mm-hmm.
And he, like, point blank, cutthroat, is like, well, if you aren't gonna talk to me about anything, I'm just gonna have to go and talk to the other guys.
Right? Like,
so he, like,
Robert.
dropped that. He's cutthroat,
he's
man.
like...
I mean, on one hand, it makes me feel, like, good about the fact that he really is taking the whole thing very seriously,
Yeah.
and he's not gonna, like, waste his time on someone who doesn't want to open up to him. But on the other hand, it's like, give people some time.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I thought, so another thing was that he wanted Robbie's serious side was a theme.
Mm-hmm.
And Robbie tries to be serious a little bit. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he gives it, like, a 3% try. He's like... So, and what he does in that is, like, just tries not to, like, crack jokes as much. And, like,
Yeah.
I feel like he went about it the wrong way.
Definitely, yeah.
And, like, yeah, being serious doesn't mean not being yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Robert, you know, even it's as simple as, like, having a serious conversation about how he's the way he is, and, like, a jokester, and, like, that kind of guy. If he had, you know, seriously said, like, Robert, you know, I'm just, you know, this is who I am, and, like, I love to crack jokes, and, you know, whatever, in my family, this is
Mhm.
whatever he wanted to talk about, that was just serious, and
Yeah.
not, and I think, but, like, I do also think that they weren't super into each other.
Yeah.
Anyway, like,
Mhm.
Robbie and Robert. But that doesn't mean... Well, I mean, I'm jumping the gun here.
Mm-hmm. So then they go and reveal their secrets, and they all have their masks, and they come up. I kind of thought they should have done it privately.
Yeah, a little bit. I think it would have made it, because then it gives Robert the chance to talk to them a little bit about it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, you
Or-
have a back and forth.
Yeah.
And it's also, you know, a chance to get that one-on-one time.
Yeah.
Which they did end up having the next day, but it's kind of like at that point, like a night has passed, you know? So they're...
Yeah. It's not as, it's
know-
not reactionary then. It's
Mhm.
more, it's re-bringing it up.
Yeah, and Eric gets to go off and, like, have his
Mhm.
conversation, but the other guys are like, I don't know how he took what I
Yeah.
said.
Right. And because they didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought, I mean, it was nice because when Eric comes out and tells them all he has HIV, we have this big show of support where they all go up and hug
Yeah.
him, and Robert, you know, is like, could never change how I see you, I
Mhm.
support you, and all these guys, and that was super sweet. But yeah, for the rest of the guys, it was kind of like almost,
It's like throwing your heart on a table.
yeah.
And not even, like, having it stabbed or, like... But just, like,
Just left
someone,
there.
yeah, just walks away.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really sad way to put it. Oh. But yeah, so then Eric and Robert go on a one-on-one, and, like, they try to lighten the mood a little bit, and, like, it
Yeah.
goes really well. It goes really well. They, like, are digging each other, and they talk about, like, chicken.
Yeah, and I noted, Eric was like, I love fried chicken, and Robert was like, I can cook a mean fried chicken. Like, that's a soulmate type thing. right
Yeah,
there.
like, oh my god. I noted in my my watching that when Eric starts to compliment him and he goes, "You're the most beautiful man I've ever seen." In the confessional, Robert's like, "I'm finally starting to hear the things I need to hear from you." And I'm like, okay, Robert, we get it.
We all know what you want to hear, Robert. That's great. That's
But, yeah.
fantastic.
But no, it really did go really well.
Mhm. And they kissed. They made out.
Right?
They were like,
Ow.
yeah.
Feeling it. They were feeling
And
it.
both of them were like, yeah, that was good. I had fun. So then the next day, Robert comes over for the barbecue, and this is kind of when he has the chance to talk to everybody else about what they revealed.
Yeah, and also I feel like the things they do show a little bit the kind of budget they have in that The Bachelor is like, now we're going to Argentina.
Yeah.
Oh, but now we're going to Vietnam. Like, they fly, like, the entire cast and crew and all,
Mhm.
like, 15 people all over the place.
Yeah.
And Finding Prince Charming is like, all right, we're going to have a ball. Do the decorating.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow we'll have a barbecue, so here's what you'll need for that. And it's like...
But I almost like it more. It makes
Yeah.
it more intimate. It
It
lets them all
does.
interact with each other
And it's
more.
more of a real-life situation
Mhm.
that they'll get to know each other in. Like, it's an... Plus, you can have a conversation about it. Like, they showed,
Mhm.
like, oh, this is all the decorating we did.
Yeah.
And not just walking into a new place every single time with that person being like, oh my god,
Yeah.
beautiful. Can you believe it? We're so lucky. I can't
Or
believe we're here.
Remember that one time that something went wrong on one of the dates and they were like, I don't even know, like, what we're supposed to do because it was, like, raining or whatever and they couldn't do
Yeah.
what they were supposed to do. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
this show is much more capable of dealing with things.
Like, it's gonna rain. If it had rained at their barbecue, all of them would, like, go out in their bathing suits together and, like, splash in puddles and, like,
Yeah.
do something, like, adorable together.
they would find a way to, like, switch it and make it
Yeah.
work.
Exactly.
Robert and Dylan talk first.
Mm-hmm.
And then he quickly gets pulled away by Eric,
Mm-hmm.
who wants to talk to Robert to, like, see where he's at. And then Robert was like, you know, we had a great time. last night, but I really need to see what the other guys.
Which is fair.
I thought it was really fair, but you know, like Dylan's upset about it, and I think a couple of other guys were too, and even Robert was upset about it.
Yeah.
But I think when you share something as intimate as that,
I'm gonna look crazy person. Like, I'm trying to crack my neck. I have a problem. But yeah, go on.
when you share something as intimate as that in a normal relationship, that's usually like when it gets really serious or when it kind of teeters off, right?
Yeah.
When it's something as serious as that. And I feel like if that person accepts you in your real life relationship, then there's like a kind of like waiting time of validation where you're like, is it still okay with you? Like, you had the chance to sleep on it.
Yeah.
Like, is this really what you're okay with? So I feel like that's where Eric was. But this isn't a real life situation.
Right.
So it's different. But I could understand where he was coming
Yeah,
from.
no, it's totally, I totally understand. Like, I wasn't, like, it's not something you look at and I'm like, wow, I can't believe he did that. Like,
no, yeah.
That's totally a normal thing, but, yeah, I mean, I think Robert, yeah, I don't know, he could have been more just like, yeah, I want a chance to talk to the other guys, I had a really awesome time, whatever.
I also noted that Robert, in his confessional, when he was talking about that, was like, Eric may just want to run away together, and maybe I do too.
Yeah.
But I have to stay here and see what it's like with these other guys. And I was like, I think Eric is in the lead right now.
Perhaps. I feel like it's almost, yeah, like, because sharing something like that, where not everyone has something so, like, I don't even want to say, like, deep, because, like, all these people, they're, like, three-dimensional people, but, like, it's, like, something like that where, you know, someone has struggled or suffered to, like, not everyone has that kind of thing to share, and it really kind of can bond people when you share something like that. So it's, like, you know, regardless of the two of them could be really just people that click and connect and get along, something that like that can kind of like further it in that much more of a way.
I almost wish that Robert had also had a mask and revealed something to all of them that they didn't know. I think that would have been nice. I think it also would have been nice for us because I feel like we don't really know that much about Robert.
No. We know, well, he did reveal that he took care of his uncle who died of AIDS, which that was emotional, and sad and stuff, and like, and that even just like goes to my other point about them like bonding with Eric over it, but and
that he has a good relationship with his parents.
Other than that, he's like a doll of a person, and I don't know anything about him. So I think that would have been an awesome idea.
So then I wrote Eric, but it wasn't Eric. Chad. Then Chad takes Robert and he shows him a mask that he made for Robert. That was the phoenix that ignited his flame, which I was like, you're lame. But it was cute. I thought it was cute. It was also orange, which was okay with me.
Always a plus in your book. Yeah. It was kind of lame. You know.
He got a kiss out of it.
It was a kiss, man. It was like a kiss.
And Robert was like, you make your bed really nicely. And then they like show the bed. It was nice. I liked it.
Yeah.
I can't make my bed like that.
Yeah, it was good.
Let's see. Then Eric is talking with Robbie about how he's having a hard time watching everyone have conversations with Robert. And I liked their little interaction where Robbie, I wish I wrote down exactly what he said, but he was like, it's a cruel game we all signed up for, and like takes a sip of whatever he's drinking.
Yes.
I love Robbie so
Robbie's
much.
So good. People on Twitter were like about to start a riot over Robbie had needing his own show, and I was like,
he
guys,
does. He brings so much to this show.
He really does.
They should, I guess we'll get into it later, but he should still be there next week, just like with the quips. They can show him little clips and stuff, and he can chime in.
Oh my god.
So then Brandon and Robert talk. And Brandon actually said to Robert that he felt that Robert was unavailable the night before. That he was like closed off and wasn't really having conversations with anyone. I mean, we did see the conversation that he had with Eric where he was cutthroat, so maybe he was being a little bit cutthroat at the mask.
Yeah, it seemed that way. Yeah, and then they were like, kind of, we need to pull each other aside more.
Yeah.
And stop
waiting for the other one too.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. I can see it more from Brandon's side. Like, this guy is pulling all of these guys away, and then he's expecting Brandon to pull him away. Like, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, it seemed a little bit... Yeah. But maybe... I wonder if he was like, when you're interested in someone, you kind of ignore them a little bit. Mm-hmm. So, like, maybe he was, like, he's kind of interested in Brandon. I don't know, like, maybe the dynamic is different between them, and he was like, I want him to come to me.
Yeah.
So, you know, I can see it from both ways, but...
They kissed.
They got a kiss, too, so...
And Robert was like, Brandon's really good at kissing. He knows what he's doing. So we all know who's winning this game. It's Robert.
Yes, it's Robert.
And then Justin and Robert have this conversation because Justin is really good friends with Eric and feels like he almost doesn't want to get in the way of what Eric and Robert have, but also really likes Robert.
Yeah. I feel as though... So I get Justin because, like, friendship over everything, right? Mm-hmm. But, I think that he finds himself less into Robert than Eric has confessed to him is into Robert. So he's like, well, I'm only like kind of into Robert and Eric is really into Robert. So like, I think that Justin might have fought a little bit more for himself if he thought that if he was like more into it. Mm-hmm. But he did just confess his like looking out for other people thing. So I'm interested to see what happens because it could be that he's like, oh, well, I really am into Robert, so I'm going to keep pursuing it. Yeah. Or maybe he gets sent home next episode. I hope not. Why would we even watch? Robbie and Justin done? But,
yeah, because of his confession that he doesn't, that he, like, looks out for other people more than himself, I kind of thought that, like, you know, I had the idea that, you know, even if it's gonna completely break your heart, you want to look out for another person. So I kind of felt that might be where he's coming from. Okay. And he is just, like, letting this go because he doesn't want to hurt his friend's feelings. Yeah. Which would suck. I hope that's not the case. Yeah. I hope it's what you said.
Me too. But I don't know.
Yeah. And then Robbie and Robert talk about how Robbie acknowledges that he
Mhm.
went about being serious in the wrong way.
Yeah.
And tries to, like, convey to Robert that he has this compassionate side, which we've absolutely seen.
Yeah,
and I don't really
no.
understand why Robert never really saw it.
Yeah, he totally knows how to, like, listen to people
Mhm.
and, like, understand their problems and, you know, like, talk to them in a way that, like, does lighten their mood.
Exactly, yeah.
But not in, like, a blowing off your problem kind of
Mhm.
way. In it, like, addresses their problem, but, like,
Yeah.
he's still, like... So, he's really good at that kind of thing, and that's totally a more, like, a different dimension to Robbie.
Yeah.
But
But I guess it didn't work because at the black tie event, he gets sent home.
he does.
I really don't like that it's like a bottom two type situation.
Yeah.
I just wish that he would call out the names of the guys who were staying and then say goodbye to the one who wasn't.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, that's kind of what happened this week.
No, they both come up. He talks about how he feels about one.
He
how
did that
feels
this week?
about the other. Yeah.
Oh. I didn't see that happen.
I thought so. I was pretty sure because he like talked to Justin first and then called Robbie up, I think. Because I was like, oh, they're going to do it different this week. But I'm pretty sure they were both standing up there when he said which one was going home.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
And Robbie makes his exit like
A champ?
some sort of like Russian royal, like, I don't know.
He's amazing.
And
Chad was sobbing. I was sobbing because Chad was sobbing.
So on Twitter, everyone was like blowing up about Robbie going home because they were like, ah! And Robbie being the like he's just, I don't even understand, like, he knows how to play it. He knows how to play everything. He didn't say a word. He didn't tweet, like, anything. He just retweeted what everyone was saying. He was like, you know, people saying, oh, you know, you were the best part of this show. And he was just like, retweet, retweet, retweet. And I'm like, yes.
I love him.
He's great.
It's really sad that he's gone. But as he said, it's going to get crazy. It's going to buckle down. Things are going to get crazy.
Who said? Someone said, now that Robbie's gone, the party's over. And it's like, yeah, it's going to get cutthroat. Or it won't.
I
don't
hope
know.
they all maintain their friendships.
I think so.
I feel like they have based on like pictures that I've seen online. I'm sorry, I just lost my voice.
Yeah, it seems that way. I don't know.
All right. So you can follow us on Twitter at Such a Connection.
Such a Connection. We'll be there next week.
Bye.